Hey everybody, and welcome. This is Mark with ClickFunnels Support, and with me is Andrew Newman. And Andrew's going to be going over some pretty cool things here and showing you some tricks in the ClickFunnels editor, stuff that you can do to spruce up your pages. And while he's doing that, please note that there is a slight delay from when we say things to when you hear them. It's usually about 30 to 45 seconds. So make sure that you get your questions queued up in the chat over there in the sidebar, and we'll get those. We'll get to those questions after Andrew goes through his presentation in about 10 minutes here, and then we're gonna end this about 11:45. So make sure you get your questions in now, queued up, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Andrew.
Perfect. Thank you, Mark. So what I'm going to actually be going over for everybody here today, let me make sure that I am presenting to everybody. Can you guys see me? I hope you can. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is how to manipulate the backgrounds in different areas in the ClickFunnels editor. And you'll notice that there's a lot of different places that you can manipulate for the backgrounds. And we've been getting a lot of questions about this. So we're going to share with that how you do that. And we're also going to share how to embed a video that will play in the background as well. So it's actually going to be pretty cool. So give me just a second here to share my screen with you. All right, Mark, can you see my screen?
I can.
All right, perfect. So, all right, I've just loaded up just a basic editor here. And what we're going to do first is we're going to go into the main background, and we're going to set that as the, just set it up as a different background type. So I'm going to go here to the little green and click on this little settings. And you'll see here where we have a background color, we have a background image, we have the image position, and we have width on the page. So the first thing that I need to do is we actually have a white background. This is actually set to transparent right now. So I'm going to go in and create an image on this one as an example. So I'm going to click this little button here, and then I have a whole bunch of images. Right here we have background images. Now these are the stock images, obviously, that come with ClickFunnels, and you can add any image that you want. Just keep in mind that when you add an image to your background, pixels are very important. So make it as high resolution as possible. That way, when the image stretches or anything of that nature, it doesn't distort. It still looks good in your background. So I'm just going to take this little laptop right here because I like it and add that to the page. So as you can see how that just changed the background of this section right here, the green section. You'll notice when you hover over the elements that the sections themselves have the ability to change the background, which is what we're actually doing here in this particular project. Now, if you want your entire background on the whole page to be the exact same thing, you would just make your whole page one section, and you could set it up that way. Or you can go in and you can create additional elements in here that will allow that to be part of that specific background. And we'll show you that here in a second. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to delete that image. Just like that. Now we're back to our regular white background. Now what I want to do is I want to take this headline row and I want to show you how to manipulate the background there. So basically the same concept. You're just going to go here to the settings, and you have your background color, your background image, your position, and whether it's sticky or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just change the color of this. I'm going to change it to a little bit of a red. Now keep in mind I am colorblind, so if I get these colors off, don't laugh at me later. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that, and then you'll notice here that it did not change, and you're probably going to open a support ticket and say, hey, my background color is not changing. Well, the fact is you'll notice this little slide bar underneath here. This little slide bar is going to give you the opportunity to change the transparency of that background. And right now it's 100% clear. So if we slide that about middle, you'll see that it kind of hovered over. I think that's kind of a pinkish color. So if we hover all the way over to the right, that gives us the full background color that we wanted for that. It's relatively simple as far as there. Now we can add an image to this. We can do anything we really want. You can lighten it up just by changing the transparency, and you can see there's a little bit of color variation there. Now one trick I personally like to do, this is just a little hack for those of you who have the same problem I do and can't see the same colors, is I just like to copy this little section right here. And let's say, for example, I want to come down here and change the background on the footer, and I want it to match what I have up here in my header. What I would do is simply hover over, select the element that I want to choose, select my background color, and then just simply paste that right in there, and it's going to match the exact same color that's in another element on my page. That makes it real easy to be able to make sure that your pages are congruent with each other and kind of match your color scheme. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to go in and I want to add a background background, to a video background to the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my settings. Now this is going to be just a little bit different. We're going to go to our settings and we're going to go to our background settings right here. You notice that we have the background image. Now this is actually where you would place the image if you want it to cover the entire page on your ClickFunnels, your page funnel there. So you don't have to have one section only. You can actually have the background setting. So I'm going to go here to the background images. I'm going to add that same laptop we did earlier. Let's go ahead and add that image to the page. And you can see there that image is now a static image in the background. And if I were to take, say, for example, these sections here, and I were to darken them so they weren't so transparent, you'd see that the background will actually scroll behind the element. You see, that's pretty cool, right? So we'll go back in here. We'll change this to a little bit transparent because that is really red. Then we'll go ahead and go to our background setting, and we will take out the image. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a video. And you guys are going to love this. All I did was just go over here to YouTube, and I typed in 4K videos. These are the high definition videos that you'll see all over the internet. They're just amazing quality. Now it depends on your monitor, of course. I think it's funny when people show HD TVs to people who are watching those commercials on TVs that don't have the same high definition qualities as the TV they're trying to show. I think that's hilarious. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the background video, and I'm going to choose the YouTube background, and I'm going to paste the URL right into that box there, and then we can tab out. So you'll see the video there in the background. We can have it muted. We can have it play. We can have a start time. We can actually loop the video. We can do all kinds of things with this video. I'll leave it up to you guys to come in here and tinker with this so that you can see how that works. But we'll go ahead and save our page now, close this out, and then we'll come into the preview. Then we'll jump into some questions for everybody who is here. So as you can see there, that page has got that video background in there, and it's incredibly clear, obviously depending on the resolution of your monitor, but that looks really good in the background there. So anyways, with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the preview, and then we'll get to the questions now. So.
All right. The first question is from Edgar. He's asking about stats, saying they just spin and spin and spin, and wonder if it's just him. It looks like Brenny and Simon are experiencing that as well. So they're referring to, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
I will.
And I may not have any.
I'm not seeing your screen, Mark.
Yeah, I have to click the share screen first, I realized.
Okay. All right.
Let's see.
I do have it up on my screen where it is spinning and spinning and spinning, but it does actually eventually populate the traffic on my end.
So what's going on here is the dev team's aware of this. They're working on improving the stats, making sure that they load quickly. So this is something that the dev team is aware of. We do get tickets on this every now and then. Please note that when you do have a user that opts in, it can take up to 24 hours for stats to update. So it usually doesn't take that long, but it can take that long for your stats to update. They don't update in real time. So that's something to take note of as well. But as far as, with the stats spinning, when you open a page and you get this little loading wheel here, just know that the dev team is working on that. They're working on improving the stats, making them more optimized, easier to understand, things like that. So that is something that's being worked on. Looks like the next question is from Brandon. He's asking about the background image and asking if it's possible to use a background image that takes up the full window, full width and full height. Do we need custom CSS for that?
Now, I do believe that we did cover that toward the end of our little demo there. Basically, Brandon, what you're going to do is just go up to the settings in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And let me show my, well, I think, Mark, you actually have the screen. If you want to show them on the page there, just where that background setting is.
Yep, let me open up the editor here. So if you go into the editor and then choose the background settings, you can add a background image here. And then when you do that, let's see. Oh, it looks like it's this this section has a background. That's why it's going on there. And remove the color. And so there's the background image. So when I scroll, it stays in one place, and it would go, top to bottom, left to right. You just got to make sure that you're set to full center fit. If you're set to full fill 100% width, it's just going to scroll with the page. It's not going to give you that kind of parallax feel to it. So make sure it's set to full center fit. Next question is from Steven. What if my main website is in WordPress, but I want to create pages for the site in ClickFunnels without using Cloudflare? The plugin was a bit buggy, so I don't think I should go that route. Any other ideas? You have any thoughts on that, Andrew?
As far as not using Cloudflare, you can, Stephen. It's just going to require you to have a developer and a lot of headaches. And as far as that goes, Cloudflare is really not that scary. What I would recommend doing if you wanted to use your ClickFunnels page with your, I don't know if you can see me or not. I think Mark is actually sharing his screen still. Anyways, I hope you can see me now. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to create a subdomain and set that up for your ClickFunnels account. So say, for example, it would be funnels.mydomain.com, and all of your ClickFunnels would be stored there. Now, another option that you can do if you want to embed a ClickFunnels page on your WordPress site and you want it to maintain your domain and all that wonderful stuff is you can set up an iframe, and you can just use the URL from your ClickFunnels funnel that you want to go with and place that on an actual, like a post or a page within your WordPress account. And all that's going to do is basically just pull the data from the URL that you put there, and it's going to place that in your page. If that makes sense to you, I hope so. Go to w3schools.com, basically what we covered last week on the Q&A webinar, and type in iframe, and it'll give you some ability to practice with an iframe, and then you'll be able to pull your pages in that way. Anybody who comes to your page from that point, they click on that link and they go to your page on your WordPress site. Keep this in mind that as soon as they initiate the funnel process, ClickFunnels is going to take over. It's not going to be your WordPress URL. So, Mark, do you have any feedback as far as that goes?
Yeah, I mean, another option there, and this does not work with all web hosts. I've seen it work, maybe 30-40% of the time, is you can add a subdomain to your web host, and then actually, I don't even know if you would need to add the subdomain or not, but you could create a CNAME that for a subdomain basically, and point that to target.clickfunnels.com. I've seen that work sometimes. It's not a method that we officially support. The method we officially support is Cloudflare. So if it doesn't work with your web host, it isn't supported. I've done it with DreamHost. That's the hosting company I use. And sometimes it has worked and sometimes it hasn't. So like I said, it just depends on your web host and settings there. If it doesn't work, you'll get a 1001 error. That's what it'll show. So yeah, that's just another option there. But if you don't want to go the Cloudflare route, the iframe option is a good one as well. Next question is from Pete, asking for a little Actionetics preview. So I've got my.
We have to do that because I'm not cool and I don't have Actionetics in my account. So you are now presenting to everyone.
There it is. There's a little preview. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, you get all these different, and this is realize this is a test account, so this isn't going to look. There's going to be a lot more information when you have actual email addresses. Their information is going to get pulled in with their email address. There's action scores based on different activities and things like that they've done. You can create different email lists. You can import your contacts, create your email broadcasts. Once this page loads here, create your emails And the email editor it's just like using the ClickFunnels editor, basically. I mean, I'll show you this here. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I have a couple emails. I can just do this. So here's a little, oh, I guess I don't. Let's just do this anyway. So here's, you open the email editor, and here it is. So, I mean, if you want to, here's your settings. You have a pre-header. You can preview, save, all that. You can add elements. It's obviously going to be more limited than a page because certain page elements just wouldn't work in an email. But these are all the different things you can add. You can add rows and columns. Where is that? Not seeing that here, but there is a way. Maybe. Let me see. Well, you can just. Oh, here you go. Add new row. It was obvious, wasn't it? So you can add 1, 2, 3, or 4 column rows. And then you can have 4 different images here or whatever you want. Add a 2 column row. So it's just like using the page editor in ClickFunnels. And then the last thing, which is really exciting, is basically these action funnels. And so here's an email. You can add different steps. So here's where you would basically this would be your sequence or your campaign or your follow-up series, or there's so many different terms depending on which autoresponder you're using. In ClickFunnels, it's an action funnel because it's so much more than actually just an email series. So you can do emails, texts, these do actions, which honestly, I don't even know what those are yet. I haven't messed around with this enough. But then you come down here, and so here's the email that's going to get sent out. You can add rules based on different things. So you can say, I want this email to get sent out to someone who has Facebook followers greater than 1,000 people. So whatever, you can change all that and add those different rules there. So it's pretty cool. That's a little
teaser there.
Little preview, yeah, a little teaser.
I don't know about you guys, but anybody else who just watched that, if you didn't just get excited and anxious, get off the webinar. I'm just kidding, but that's awesome. Anybody who's gotten any emails from Russell recently, that's Actionetics. That's actually the Actionetics autoresponder that's sending those emails out. And you see how the layouts are when they hit your inbox. It's just beautiful. So I know how you feel, Josh. Stop! It's so painful. I know how you feel. I'm anxiously awaiting it myself. So that's pretty cool. Mark, thank you for sharing that awesome little tour with us. So,
next question is from Brad. Quick walkthrough of the affiliate section. I have affiliate access, affiliate area, and a commission plan created. For some reason, the link I send to affiliates goes to the template and not the affiliate access page I customized. That actually sounds like more of a support ticket issue. A quick thing you can do there would be to change the page path, just update, force the cache to update. If that doesn't work, submit a support ticket and we can take a look at it for you. Also, make sure you're checking the page in an incognito window. The next question is from Lisa, and she's asking, can you do slider backgrounds where the images rotate? Do you know that one, Andrew?
Yes, you can. Lisa, the best way that you can do that, it's a little bit tricky. One of our support team members, his name is Charles. He put together a video showing you exactly how to do it through CSS, and it actually looks really nice. What we could do, if you just want to go ahead and open up a ticket and just ask myself, I'll get it from Charles there, and I'll send that over to you so that you can learn how to do it. It's basically the same stuff that Mark was going over last week on the webinar, where you're going to be using the editor for your CSS, and you'll be uploading your images, and they'll basically rotate. So you can do it. It's just not something that's native to the system. As far as that goes, Mark, would you have any feedback?
I mean, you could also look into different jQuery slider options. There's a lot of different jQuery plugins. If you're, and that would also require some custom coding to use, but those would also work fairly well with some kind of jQuery plugin that if you can get it set up correctly.
Perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. So our next question here is actually coming from Chad, and Chad's asking, how can I get the user's email address and or entered information from ClickFunnels? I want to use it in a custom JavaScript, but I need to get access to it. Is there something that can be done? For reasons it needs to be sent to the user in other systems, and I don't have an integration. So Chad, what I'm assuming that you're asking is, how do you get the information for your subscribers, for your list that have opted into ClickFunnels? And that's actually relatively simple. Mark, you actually have control of the screen. Would you like to show Chad where the download your CSV file is inside of the new UI?
Yeah, go ahead and present my screen there so everyone can.
You actually are, but I'll click it anyway.
So let's just go into a funnel here. So with the latest update to the user interface, this got added here where you have an entire context section for your funnel. So you can go into the contacts here, you can download the CSV, and that will give you access to all of your contacts from your funnel. You can also sort by page and check this box if you only want orders. So that's how you can do that. Oh, Chad is asking in real time. That would require some custom coding. There isn't a native way in ClickFunnels to do that. However, most autoresponders, depending on what you're using, you can actually use the HTML form integration to integrate with your page. You go into the email here, and everyone should have this by default in their account, the HTML form integration. You select integrate existing form, you get the HTML form code from your autoresponder, and make sure it's stripped out of any JavaScript or any CSS. All you need is the code that is between the form tags. So it'll look something like that, like a form and then an end form, basically, something like that. All you need is the code between those two tags. Then you click parse and save web form, and then you'll be able to sync those fields here, and that will submit the data to your autoresponder. And I mean, 99.9% of autoresponders and CRMs are going to support this method, even if we don't integrate with them via API.
Perfect stuff. Now, Andrea is asking, I did something in my settings to my header, and in preview, it's hidden. What are some places that I can check for to fix this? Andrea, what I'm assuming that happened is that when you went into your header there, is you actually toggled the little visual aspect of it. So let me show you what it might be, unless Mark, you have some.
I can actually just show right here. So if you go to your, if you're in the page editor, click on sections right here. You can see these little eyes. If there's an eye with a line through it, that means the section is hidden. You can hide anything on your page this way. So if you go in there and there's a little hidden eye section, you just unclick that to reveal the section that is hidden. And that's how you do that.
Now, another thing that you may have done, Andrea, is there may be a fade-in timer, whereas when you load the page, it could be hidden until a certain time or a certain action takes place. And that's actually right there on the screen where Mark is showing you now. So double check those settings, and if that isn't the case, then open up a ticket with us at support@clickfunnels.com. We'll log in and we'll take a peek and see what it could be outside of that. So with that, I hope that actually helps. Melanie is asking, can you only use video as background media in a full page, or can you use a video background for a section as well? To my knowledge, Melanie, the only thing that we can do is actually use the video background for the full page, not just the section itself. But when you're setting up your other elements of your page, you can set those sections to be a little more visible in front of the video. Other than that, I don't think it's possible. Mark, do you have any feedback on that one?
It is possible with custom CSS. That's actually, if you go to the ClickFunnels homepage, that's how it's set up. There isn't an option in your section settings to do that. It needs to be custom coded, but it is possible to do that. I've actually seen other users who have done that as well.
Oh, good. Now we know CSS is the answer. So Pete is asking, what video backgrounds don't work well when tested on an iPad? Is there any tips as far as that goes? Pete, to my knowledge, on mobile devices, I don't think the video backgrounds actually play automatically. I think they have to be toggled. So with video backgrounds, you might run into some challenges there with your iPad or any mobile device for that matter as far as that goes. Now, I haven't tested it personally. Mark, do you have any feedback as far as that goes on?
I've worked with one of the developers on this one. There were some issues with the background video on mobile devices just because it doesn't play automatically. And so what it would do is you would get this big giant play button in the background, and it just looks kind of ugly on a mobile device. And so what we ended up doing is mobile video, background video is completely disabled on mobile. So, and the way that is disabled is by using CSS. Once again, using CSS media queries. So basically, the system will recognize that when the width of the browser is less than, I think, 770 pixels, that instead of showing the background video, it's going to display the background image that's right here instead. So on an iPad, it gets a little bit tricky because technically it's still a mobile device and the video won't autoplay. But if you're on an iPad in landscape mode, it could very well be larger than 770 pixels wide. So you may still have that background video showing up there. So that's something to consider as well.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so we have Eddie saying, can we use Google Maps APIs with ClickFunnels? There is a Google Map integration in ClickFunnels, Eddie. The as far as the API, I'm not 100% positive on what you mean by that. I didn't know that Google Maps actually had an API that you would use.
That's actually how we have our integration with Google Maps. Here in the image manager. This is integrated with Google Maps API, so you can. But what this does, it doesn't pull a live. It pulls a live map based on your settings. You can have a location here. You can change, all these settings and things like that, and then you generate the image. And then when you click Upload Image, it's going to add this image into your image files. So then you can add that image into your page. However, actually integrating directly with the API, that's not something that we support. If you have a developer who can figure out a way to do that, you can try that, but we don't have an open API that users can access either. So that's gonna be pretty tricky to do.
Perfect. Okay, so Brenny's asking, where can you get HD videos for use for your background? Brenny, where I go is YouTube. It's been a very trusted source for me for a lot of video needs over many years. Basically, what we did in the beginning here of the let me see. Are you able to see my screen here? I'll show you exactly what we did, so that you can repeat it yourself.
We can see you, but not your screen.
See me. Okay. Let's stop delighting you, and we'll we'll go over to that one. How about now? So you should be able to see here.
There we go.
Okay, so HD videos, basically just 4K videos is all I searched for. You could do the same thing. You can go HD videos, and it should do the same thing. So yeah, you could type in HD videos, or you could type in 4K videos. That's going to give you all just tons and tons and tons of videos that you can go through and find ones that are most suited to whatever your needs are. And then you can place those in the background of your video, or do whatever you need to do there as far as that goes. So I hope that answers your question a little bit, Brenny. Mark, are you aware of any other sources where they can dig up some of these HD videos?
No, that's exactly how I would have answered it as well. I know that some people have shared some links in the Facebook group for this. So, I mean, that'd be a good question, honestly, for the Facebook group as well. It's a great resource there.
Facebook group has a lot of people who actually help us sometimes, to be honest. So if all else fails, you can always go and check with the user base. There's some pretty awesome people in there. So Josh is asking, how do clients cancel their Stripe subscriptions, and how do we use coupon codes in ClickFunnels? Stripe says they do have coupon codes. As far as canceling subscriptions in Stripe, that's a manual process that I personally do. And as far as the coupon codes, we don't actually have a way to integrate coupon codes with ClickFunnels and Stripe at this time. Mark, do you have any feedback as far as the cancellation of Stripe subscriptions? Do we have a way to do it automatically? Because I don't.
No, that's been something that's, I mean, I think both of those things are actually on the features request board. That's another good, I'm going to actually post the link here. If you have any suggestions or ideas for feature requests, you can actually go to this link that I'm adding to the chat here, and you can add those there. But I think both of those are actually already on the features board, and so you can just search for these and add your vote. So that's, if there's a feature that you really are passionate about, really excited about, I mean, you can go there, you can add it, and start lobbying for your feature, have people vote on it and help you out. And, hopefully if it's something that's possible, hopefully it's something that, might be considered. So.
Now, Simon is asking, is there a training video on setting up products? I have a membership funnel and I've added a product, but it doesn't show up on the order page. Now, Simon, as far as that goes, to answer your question, yes, there are training videos for that. When it comes to actually setting up your product for it to show up on the order page, what you need to do is you need to actually have an order page set up. So let me show you that here on my page here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the extra funnel steps. I'm going to add a new page to this particular funnel. This is going to be an order demo. We'll just create this step. So now once we've created the step, the next thing we're going to need to do is pick our template. So we're going to go here to sales, and then we're going to go here to our order forms and just go ahead and grab that. And it's going to give us an option to choose from any of these we like. If we don't like them, we can delete the content and just add in whatever we want. For the demonstration purposes, I'm just going to grab a random template. Okay, so then here, this is going to load momentarily. Don't worry, my internet speeds are bound to speed up rather soon. So here, once you've gotten to this page, here you have your little order page, all nice and pretty. We're going to go back here. Right here, it says products. Go ahead and select that. You'll be able to add your product here, and that's going to show up on the order page itself. So say you have a membership area, just like you're mentioning. If you set up a product here where you want to restrict access to that specific membership area, what you're going to do is you're going to go here to the fulfillment email. And then your thank you page, you'll set this to your membership area, whatever you want it to be. I have boatloads of them in here because I test a lot of things. But you'll just set up your membership area as the thank you page here. And then you'll set the restrictions in the membership area based off of what product they purchased as well. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there, Stripe, or Simon. Stripe. I was reading right above it. But anyways, Mark, do you have any feedback as far as that goes?
Well, I think he was saying that it wasn't showing up on his page when he has the product added. It doesn't show up.
If that's the case, Simon, what you'll want to do is you'll want to actually open up a ticket with us, and we'll dive in there and take a peek if that's actually what's happening there. It doesn't show up on the order page. Yeah, so if you do have a product in there and it's not showing up on the order page, Simon, go ahead and open up a ticket at support@clickfunnels.com, and we'll help you out with that. You can even actually just ask for Mark or myself, since we were here on the webinar with you, and we can dive in there and take a look. Josh is asking, when does Actionetics come out? As far as that goes, that was earlier when we were doing the little teaser session there. It should be out very soon, right, Mark?
That's what I was going to say, soon. I think if you've seen enough of these webinars, you know that's the only answer we're going to give. If you ask for a timeline on anything, it's going to be soon.
The static answer is soon, because we don't actually officially know for sure, but it should be out very, very soon. I'm anxious myself, so I understand that. And Pete is also asking, can we do split test emails in Actionetics? And please say yes to this. I'm assuming the answer is going to be yes, but I don't actually have access to that.
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Let me let's find out. It's loading here. So let's see. I've got,
I think everybody can see your screen now.
yeah, I've got an email here. Sending settings. I can save it as a template, apparently. I didn't know that. It's kind of cool. You know, I'm not seeing any. I've got like 3 different edit buttons that go to the same place. I'm not seeing any option for split testing, but that would definitely be, you know, another feature request, I guess. But it's not even out yet, so it may be. Who knows? It may, you know, maybe we'll see. But that is a great idea.
All right, so Amit is asking, how do we deliver multiple digital assets from different blog posts, having different lead magnets and adding them to the same email list at the same time, and have a way to deliver the appropriate lead magnet? I'm also using Aweber, something like digital assets delivery in that other company has. I'll say it, lead pages. That's okay. As far as multiple digital assets being delivered, what you would do is obviously you would set up your list being the list that they're going to opt into, and then have the first email go out from that specific list, deliver that specific URL to the asset. I think that's actually what you're asking there, unless you want them all opting into the same page. I'm not really sure there. Mark, do you have any feedback as far as that goes?
Well, I think kind of what Amit is asking here is basically you have different blog posts and different lead magnets. So it's almost like kind of testing out different things, or just, you know, different assets being provided for different blog posts. So if you're doing a blog post, there, you know, you can link to an opt-in page, or another option. What you can do is actually embed a click pop right there in your blog post, you know, with an image or a link that says, hey, get this click pop, or sorry, get this PDF download. So you create a click pop page, and after, you know, you can come in here, you can customize this page however you see fit. And then you go into your publishing settings, you get the click pop code, and then you can customize this. You can add an image here, or you can just use text, and you can set this to trigger on mouse exit. It'd be an exit pop. You can set this to trigger, you know, 1 second. So it'd be an entry pop, or whatever you want, really. And then you just copy this code and you embed this in the text area of your WordPress post. And so that way the user, when they click on that this page that you set up in ClickFunnels will actually pop up as an overlay over your blog post, and they'll be able to opt in. And then what you do is you go in here into the page settings, and in your page settings under digital assets, you select the digital asset that you want to send to the user, and when they opt in, it'll send it to them. So it's really as simple as that. And so for each blog post, you would technically you would just need a separate click pop for each blog post if you're sending a different digital asset.
And then you'd want to sync each of those click pops with the appropriate list in your Aweber.
Correct. You can have 5 different click pops pages all integrated with the exact same list in your autoresponder. So they would all go to the same list. I think that's what he was asking there.
That is. He actually set a follow-up there at the top there. So perfect. And Pete is saying, is there anything we should do to prepare for Actionetics? Set up SendGrid and warm up IP addresses. As far as that goes, Pete, yeah, you should set up your SMTP server. Other than that, it's just kind of biting your nails as far as that goes.
So hand and finger stretches, limber up your typing fingers. And
that's right. Plan out kind of like a layout. Maybe make the email campaigns that you're going to add in there. Get yourself as ready as possible so that when it does roll out, you just start adding in all the stuff that you want. basically, stretch them out, do the extra little, like Mark was saying there. So Pete's got another follow-up question. It says, when I create a product on an order form and add an order bump to the product, it creates 2 thank you pages for the additional page section. Can I delete those and just have the thank you page that's already in my funnel? The answer to that, Pete, is yes, of course you can. What ClickFunnels does by default, anytime you create a product, it automatically attaches a thank you page to that. And those thank you pages are not 100% required to be in your funnel. You can delete them if you choose to, especially on the circumstances where you have, say, for example, an order confirmation page or a thank you page that's already in the funnel you're going to send them to. They're not going to be required. It's not going to hurt you if you do delete them. As far as that goes, looks like Mark's going to have some feedback for you here when he...
Yeah, you can actually prevent the product from creating a brand new thank you page. When you create the product, go to fulfillment email, and here's your thank you page setting right here. And you just select the thank you page or membership area that you want that user to get access to after they purchase. And it won't create an additional thank you page if you select that before you create the product. By default, it is going to create a new thank you page. And so I just recommend, whenever you set up a new product, just go through each one of these tabs. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Shipping is only if you're using Kanaki or Disc Delivered, if you have some DVDs that are getting shipped out. And then affiliates, if you're using Backpack, you can toggle the commission on or off there. So
good stuff. All right, now Chad is saying, if I want to do a split test on an order bump versus an upsell page, is that possible? Absolutely, Chad. Basically what you would do is just set up your split test on the page the order bump's on, and change the bump on one of the pages, and then it'll obviously rotate out and you'll be able to do the test on that particular order bump. So I hope that was what you were asking there. Mark, do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, I hadn't considered it doing it that way. That's a good way to do it. You basically have a split test on your order page. So what you would need to do though is it would be a little bit tricky. So one, you would have your order page and you would have your order bump on that page. And then on the split test variation, you would have to link the split test variation directly to the OTO page in the redirect override. And then this split test variation would be linked to the order confirmation in the redirect override. So it sounds possible. I was actually thinking, what I was thinking was just creating like 2 separate funnels within your funnel, and then creating the split test on your sales page. So you could have a sales page right before that split test, and it could be an identical sales page. It's just what it's gonna do is one sales page goes to one order form, and that order form has an order confirmation, and then below the order page and order confirmation, then you would have an order form without the order bump, OTO, and order confirmation. And those would all be additional funnel steps down here. And so the split tests on your sales page, one would go to the first order page, the other variation of the other sales page would go to the other order page. So I probably just confused everyone, but that's how I would do it. Andrew had a great suggestion too. I think both ways
both work. I think the way that you suggested it would be a little bit easier to manage as far as that goes, because the split test on the order page is going to rotate every other person that sees it. Whereas when they go through the sales page, they're going to rotate on the sales page which one they go. I mean, yeah, either way it would work, but just keep in mind that we just gave you 2 individual ways that you don't want to combine those. So we are running out of time here, but we do have a couple more questions. We do have time to grab them real quick. Pete was saying, didn't Russell announce that Actionetics will be coming out on October 1st with his 100 car giveaway video? The answer to that is actually yes, he did. So it should be theoretically planned to be by the 1st of the month. However, plans can be altered. There's things that could come in that we haven't foreseen, circumstances that are beyond our control that could possibly prevent it, and it could be out sooner. So that really just depends on a lot of different things. Pete, Mark, do you have any feedback for Pete?
Yeah, Russell's the boss, so you can listen to Russell. don't listen to us.
Don't listen to us. We're just kind of kind of doing what we're just hearsay. That's basically what we're doing. We don't actually have our hardcore details to provide you guys. I wish we did. Joanna is asking also about Actionetics. Is this an add-on or is it included in ClickFunnels? ClickFunnels 2.0, Joanna, is going to have a whole completely restructured plans. Everything's going to be all unique. You'll see it. You'll love it. It's going to be awesome. I do believe that there's going to be some additional things that you're going to have that you might really enjoy as far as that goes. So it will be included with the appropriate plans that go along with that. As far as that goes, Mark, do you have any feedback for Joanna?
No, that's up to Russell too. that's a good one.
So Edgar is asking, this is the last question we're going to be able to take, guys, because we did go over by 1 minute as of right now. So Edgar's saying, if I set up pages to work like a conventional website using a nav bar like Mark's demo last week, should those pages be in the funnel or should they be in the additional pages area? Edgar, that's really going to depend on your goal personally. Myself, I'd put those in the additional pages, especially if they're just going to be a static page like privacy policies and things of that nature. But again, that's going to be up to you. Anything that you want in your funnel flow, put in the actual funnel. Anything that's an extra page, put in the extra pages for that page. Mark, would you have any feedback as far as that goes?
Yeah, I've dealt with that recently on a site that had basically kind of 4 static pages, and then there was like an opt-in and a thank you page, and then there was another static page that led to an order form and an order confirmation, and then another static page that had an order form and a confirmation. So that was how I set it up. Basically, if there was any static pages of the website that had kind of a call to action, I placed them in a funnel specific order so that the call to action got triggered on the from that page, and so it kind of started. It was like a sub funnel basically. So it's entirely up to you. And honestly, I prefer having all the funnel steps here because they're just easier to access than in the other funnel steps.
All right, perfect. Okay, so with that, guys, we are out of time for this exact webinar. We do apologize if we did not get to your question in this, but we will see you again next week and look for the recording. Mark, do you have any final thoughts?
No, that's it.
All right, guys, well, you have a great day.
Help.